Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're taking a shopping trip to Montreal to learn some French, the practical way. We're going to follow a real-life story, from writing the grocery list all the way to checkout, picking up all the essential words you need to know. Ready to fill up our basket? Let's go!
So here's what's on the menu for today. We'll start with the setup for our story, then we'll get into planning the shop. After that, it's off to the supermarket to navigate the aisles. Then we hit the best part, the fresh produce section, before making our final purchase. And we'll wrap up with a little challenge for you. It's a full trip.
All right, let's set the scene. Our buddy Mark has a friend, Carlos, coming to visit, but his kitchen is totally bare. He needs to cook a huge meal, and we're going to follow him every step of the way, from the moment the idea strikes to him walking out of the store.
You know, before you can even dream about cooking, you gotta have a plan, right? This is where we're gonna pick up some key French words for planning your shopping and for some basic stuff you'd find around the house.
So, the story begins. Mark looked at his nearly empty pantry, his garde-manger, and sighed. He was planning a grand dinner, a big super, for his old friend Carlos. Okay, hold on. Let's pause right there and look at those first two words. All right, our first two vocabulary words. A garde-manger, that's your pantry, the cupboard where you keep all your dry goods, and souper is the word for dinner. You'll hear this one a lot in Quebec French specifically. Pretty simple, right? Let's see what Mark gets up to next. To prepare, Mark grabbed the weekly flyer, La Circulaire, to see what was on sale, en promotion. Okay, two more great words. Let's zoom in on those. So a circulaire is that paper flyer you get in the mail, the one with all the weekly deals. And if you're a bargain hunter, you're always looking for things that are en promotion. Now, you might also see en spécial or en solde. Don't worry, they all mean the exact same thing, on sale. He realized he needed a lot. From basic flour, some farine and butter, some beurre, he grabbed his basket, his panier, and headed to the local grocery store, the épicerie. And just like that, he's out the door. But before we follow him, let's quickly break down those last four words. Okay, so we've got farine, which is flour, and beurre, which is butter. Can't do much baking without those. He grabs his panier, his shopping basket, and heads to the épicerie. Now here's a cool little detail. Épicerie can mean the whole grocery store, or sometimes it just refers to the dry goods aisle. It really just depends on the context.
Okay, we've made it to the store with Mark. Now we're heading inside. In this chapter, we're going to learn all the words for the different departments, and crucially, how to ask how much things cost. This is where it gets really useful. So before we start throwing things in the cart with Mark, let's get our bearings. Our first set of words in the store is all about how to find your way around, store organization and navigation.
First stop for Mark, the Boulangerie and Pâtisserie. That's the bakery and pastry section. Then he walks down the rangée, or the aisle, for hygiène beauté, health and beauty products. Next up, it's the viande, volaille et charcuterie section. That's your meat, poultry, and deli counter. And finally, he swings by the poissons et fruits de mer for fish and seafood. See, you can already navigate the main parts of the store.
All right, you've found what you're looking for. Awesome. Now for the $1 million question. How much does it actually cost? This next set of words is all about asking for prices and talking about quantities. He asks the clerk, c'est combien? Everyone, burn this phrase into your memory. It's so important. C'est combien literally means how much is it? Now, the clerk's answer is going to give us our next couple of key vocabulary words.
Now listen up, because this is a really important distinction. The price is per la livre. La livre is a unit of weight. It means the pound. Do not get this confused with le panier, which is the physical basket you're carrying your items in. One is for measuring weight, the other is for holding stuff. Got it? It's 5 piastres each, the clerk replied, and this word is a real Quebec gem. A piastre, and you'll often hear it pronounced more like pièce, is just slang for $1. You'll hear this constantly in Quebec, but you probably won't hear it in France. It's a perfect little piece of local flavor. All right, let's head over to my favorite part of any grocery store, the produce section. This is where things get really colorful and where our vocabulary list is about to get a whole lot bigger. We're going to learn all the fruits and veggies Mark needs for that grand super. And now, for the most vibrant part of our trip, produce. Get ready because we're about to run through a whole bunch of French names for all sorts of delicious fruits and vegetables.
So Mark grabs some fresh épinards, that's spinach, and a bundle of asperges, asparagus. Then he gets some tomates, tomatoes, poivrons rouges, red peppers, and a bag of carottes, carrots. Over in the fruit section, he adds bananas, some oranges, a ripe mango, a sweet ananas, pineapple, and one perfect avocado. Wow, that's a ton of new words. Try saying them with me as we go.
Mark also spotted a great deal on the tomatoes and peppers. The sign read, 3 pour $5. This is super common to see. It literally just means 3 for $5, a very handy thing to be able to recognize when you're on the lookout for a good deal. Before he leaves the produce area, he grabs 2 last things. Une douzaine d'œufs, that's a dozen eggs, and some fromage mozzarella cheese. Simple, straightforward, but totally essential for his dinner. His punny is definitely getting full now. We are on the home stretch now, people. Mark thinks he has everything, but then he remembers. He forgot one absolutely critical thing for a reunion with an old friend. And this final, short chapter is going to introduce us to a true cornerstone of Quebec culture. On his way home, Mark makes a quick stop at the neighborhood Dépanneur for a case de bière. Okay, here is a word you really need to know if you're in Quebec. Dépanneur. It's their word for a convenience store or a corner store. And what did he buy there? A case de bière. A case of beer. The perfect final touch for his big reunion. And there you have it. We followed Mark all the way from his empty garde-manger to a full panier. We learned how to navigate the rangée and how to understand prices in piastres per livre. We've covered so many words. So that brings us to a final thought for you. Looking at our list today, what 3 items would you grab at the Dépanneur to get ready for your own souper? Give it some thought and practice using all that new vocabulary. Thanks for coming shopping with us today.